What if the greatest profits in modern history aren't made during periods of growth, but during collapse? What if every time a country struggles, every time a currency weakens, every time a government borrows, every time a population tightens its belt, there is a silent system working behind the scenes that grows stronger, richer, and more deeply embedded into the world's financial bloodstream? Most people believe economic crises are accidents, unfortunate events caused by bad policies, global shocks, or simple mismanagement. But what if that's not the whole truth? What if hidden incentives make global downturns not a tragedy, but a business model? Because behind every recession, every bailout, every tightening cycle, and every moment of national panic, there is a mechanism quietly extracting value. A mechanism that doesn't appear on TV screens, doesn't appear on government announcements, and certainly doesn't appear in school textbooks. Today, we dive into the silent system that profits every time a country struggles. To understand how this system emerged, we have to travel back not to the beginning of money, but to the moment when nations first learned the power of borrowing. The earliest empires funded wars, roads, and expansion not with gold they already owned, but with promises of future repayment. Debt became a tool of growth. But for lenders, those with capital and influence, it became something far more powerful, a tool of control. Private banking families in Europe realized early that lending to nations was far more profitable than lending to individuals. People may default. Kings rarely could. Nations had land, taxes, armies, and citizens to squeeze. Over centuries, the financial world evolved into something no empire had ever achieved by force alone. A structure where money could be created, loaned, multiplied, and collected without ever firing a shot. But the real twist came later, centuries after the first sovereign loans. It came when the world shifted away from hard money, gold, silver, physical reserves, and embraced something far more flexible, far more abstract, and far easier to manipulate. Modern credit, the moment money stopped being a tangible asset and became a claim on future economic growth, everything changed. Suddenly, a nation's power wasn't based on what it had, but what it could promise, and every promise became an opportunity for profit. Debt became the foundation of modern finance. But debt also became the trap. The rise of central banking transformed this system from a network of private lenders into something institutional, something structural. Central banks, originally created to stabilize currencies, evolved into engines that could expand or contract money at will. Governments borrowed more, markets grew faster, currencies floated freely. But there was a detail the public was never encouraged to look too closely at. Every expansion, every injection, every rescue, every stimulus was funded by one thing: more national debt. And with every new wave of borrowing, the system behind the lenders grew stronger. During the 20th century, this quiet architecture took on an even more refined form. Nations began financing not just war, but development, infrastructure, reconstruction, global aid, financial reforms, energy transitions, even democracy itself. Here's the twist. Most of this money wasn't created by governments. It wasn't printed in a mint. It came from financial institutions whose profits increased not when countries thrived, but when they needed more loans. A booming nation stabilizes. A struggling nation borrows. And so the game began. The breaking point came in waves crises that looked unrelated, yet followed the same pattern. A country overextends. A currency drops. Investors pull out. Emergency loans arrive. Austerity measures follow. Industries collapse. Foreign ownership rises. Debt grows deeper. And the cycle repeats. Latin America saw it in the 1980s. Asia felt it in the late 1990s. Small European states experienced it in the 2010s. And emerging nations face it today. Every crisis triggered the same silent response. Lenders stepped in, not with gifts, not with charity, but with terms. Terms that shaped entire national budgets. Terms that dictated which industries would live and which would die. Terms that opened borders for foreign companies while squeezing domestic populations. And while nations struggled, the system profited through interest, through restructuring fees, through asset purchases, through currency advantages, and through long-term political leverage. This wasn't a conspiracy, it was an incentive structure. Crisis wasn't the enemy. Crisis was the business model. The fallout is easy to see once you know where to look. Countries trapped in decades-long repayment cycles, youth unemployment rising even as markets recover, nations forced to privatize water, energy, transport, even natural resources. Governments unable to spend on health or education because debt payments consume their budgets. Entire populations paying the price for decisions made decades earlier. And yet, each time, the same silent system grows larger, because every crisis creates new loans. Every rescue creates dependencies. Every austerity program widens the gap between what a nation owns and what it owes. The system doesn't need nations to collapse entirely just enough to keep them borrowing. This is the part no politician can say out loud. This is the part no banker wants publicly discussed. This is the part most economists soften with jargon. Now, let's connect this historical loop to modern parallels. Almost every nation is borrowing faster than it can repay. Interest payments consume record portions of national budgets, and the institutions managing this debt are more powerful and interconnected than ever. When a currency weakens, profits rise. When nations panic, emergency lending surges. When economies shrink, political leverage increases. The same pattern repeats in country after country. The same mechanisms activate. Even when nations recover, they never truly escape. The debt remains. This is why the world feels like it's always one step away from another crisis, because the system that benefits from struggle is built so deeply into modern finance that removing it would collapse entire economies. It's not a conspiracy, it's a structure. They just need incentives. First takeaway. And promises are the most valuable commodity in the modern world because they can be bought, sold, securitized, and controlled. Second takeaway. They follow predictable patterns because the system is designed to respond the same way every time a country shows weakness, with more debt, more conditions, and more control. Third takeaway. The institutions that manage global finance gain power not when nations thrive. Their influence expands during downturns, recessions, currency crashes, and emergencies, moments when desperate governments have no choice but to accept the terms. And now the warning: if interest payments keep rising, if currencies keep weakening, then the silent system that profits during struggle will soon have more leverage over national decisions than elected governments themselves. We are entering a future where countries don't fall. If you want more deep investigations into the hidden structures behind money, power, and global finance, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with someone who still thinks economic crises just happen. Because the truth is simple: crises may hurt nations, but they feed the system built to profit from them.